Hi everyone, Nancy L.T. Hamilton here. Welcome to my studio again. This is the third part in our stone setting, flesh setting video, and this will cover the heart burr and the ball burr setting. So that will conclude this trilogy of flesh setting videos. All right, I have 3 new holes here for 3 new settings. So weird. Anyway, this first one here, I've already done the 0.8 millimeter ball burr. I've done the 1.5 millimeter ball burr. I've done 2.7 heart burr, and now I'm going in with the ball burr. With any luck, my hand will not be in the way, and you can see what's happening. So I'm spinning that till, hopefully, till it's at its widest part. And now I'm going to check the fit of my stone. Okay, so this is not quite enough. Is it? So close. I can feel the stone with my finger, but I can barely see it. So I'm going to drill just a little more, just a teeny bit, because I'm really close. All right, and another thing I can make sure is that this thing is really cleaned out. Okay, try this one more time. And I think it's in there, but the problem with a little bowl-shaped setting is that the stone doesn't have any ledge to sit on. So you have to kind of make sure that you get it in there flat when you're double checking. Check it from the side. That actually looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. You turn it sideways. You can't see it. So that's a win-win. And the burnishing technique is the same, although I definitely like to keep a thumbnail on things. It really, really would like to go sideways on you. Get this burnish down so it doesn't even think about traveling. Okay, so I'm not going to finish this burnishing because I already have a section on burnishing, but there's the ball burr setting. Benefits to this: if you've got an uneven girdle, that may not work so well with the flush setting, and definitely won't work with the heart burr setting. This is a nice one because you've got a lot of room in there. It's not supported under the girdle, so sometimes if you've got a really fragile girdle, it can crack. There's all kinds of exciting things that can happen, but this is probably the easiest in terms of it. There's no seat to finesse the stone into. The only issues you have are trying to make sure that this is kept level at all times. Okay, so moving on. Now I'm going to go into my pre-drilled, meaning I've gone through the 2.7 bud burr on this. I just wanted to show you the heart burr a little bit. It pretty much mimics the actual shape of a stone, top and bottom. With this burr, we're going to undercut, so we're going to come in at an angle and then go straight up with it. And I'm going to push just a little bit in a circular motion once I'm inside and undercut a bit, just because this burr is a 2.9 and our stone is a 3. Yeah, the stone's going to kind of go in just like the burr. We're going to angle it like this, and then when we tap it, we're going to straighten it up, and the other side is supposed to pop in underneath the metal here in that V-shaped cut that we've made inside the stone. I mean, inside the metal. Be interesting if we had to do it in the stone. All right, here's my amazing drawing. This is what the hart burr comes in and cuts. This undercut, here's the top of the metal here. And so the stone is going to come in this way. Oh my God, this is terrible. And sit in there like that. You get the idea, right? I need to quit that drawing. It's so bad. So here's our hart burr. I'm going to see if I can actually go in at an angle. And you can see. Lubricate. So I'm going to start angled, as we have discussed. And then I'm going to push in and straighten it up as I feel the metal be removed. And I'm going to kind of move it in a little 360, like 3 times. And then I'm going to bend it sideways again to take it out, because it'll be a little poppy, a little harder to get out. So I'm going to check that. I want to make sure the seat is deep enough. I need to use my optivisors this time. Once again, I'm coming in at an angle. And then I'm going to drill down a bit. I think that's good. Okay, so I'm going to clean up the front, and I can't forget to clean up the back by doing, and you can use the hart burr for this too. Might as well do 3 while I'm in here. Hole number 3, that is. Put a little bevel on there. A little chittery. Yeah, I can see the chitter marks there. No good. Okay, that's good enough for now. All right, so now I'm going to put this back in to the vise. This is the hairy part right now. You're hoping against hope that your stone is going to fit in there and that you don't have to re-drill. And you kind of want to feel the leading edge, the girdle, drop into the groove that we cut on that one side. And you kind of do. You can see it's still sitting above the hole on one side. And then using a small mallet, and for me, I have to use a mallet. You can try pushing using a brass or copper pusher to push the stone in. I don't have the physical strength, so I'm going to go in with a punch and gently tap the stone. Oh, please go in. I have to let you know that I have chipped stones doing this technique. It is definitely possible. Oh, this hole is a little bit too tight, but it's not terrible, so we're going to leave it. The stone sits a hair high in there. Not bad, though. Not bad. Double check that we can get our burnisher in here. Fat burnisher. Skinny burnisher. Oh yeah, I can still burnish the edge. For me, that's always a test. If there's a ledge to grab onto to do the burnishing, then I know I'm okay. And you do want to try to make all your settings equal heights, as close as we humanly can. So these little punches are pretty easy to make. Let's see, I have 10 gauge bronze, or you can use something like this copper that's 8 gauge. And you just want to cut off a piece that is, you guys please don't fall down. I don't know, 6.5 millimeters long, and I just cut a strip. So you can put your wire on a block and then roll it with a piece of wood on top, or if it's really being stubborn, you can use another steel block or a sheet of heavier steel to roll it to straighten it out. And then what I did, this is actually crooked. I gotta fix that. I just beveled this edge a little bit and then put a slight flat tip on it and kind of rounded the edges there so it wasn't sharp. This will have to be readjusted, as every time I use it, it gets a little deformed, but base metals are great, you know, like using the copper, brass, or bronze to make your punches with. So anyway, now I'm going to show you a different way. I'm going to set the stone into its seat with the heart burr. I'm going to cut the same exact way that I did on the prior one. I'm going to come in at an angle, straighten it up, go down a bit, make sure it's deep enough, and then I'll just show you this other way to put the stone in. Alrighty, let's hope you can see. I hope you can. Here's my stone, table down on a smooth-ish piece of wood, and then my setting, this is the right way up, and I don't know if you can see it, there's a little dot where the light's coming through. I use that as my guide. It's easier on the edge to do if your hole's drilled on the edge, but you want to look down and make sure that you can see your collet in there, and take your mallet, tap, and if you're having a hard time getting it in there, you can move it over to a steel block. There she blows. Right there. So, you know, both of these ways are pretty aggressive with your stone, but they both work, and you're using pretty hard stones. I think for me, using the setting burr is probably the least stressful practice, or the ball burr, although the ball burr doesn't have any support under the girdle. So 6 to 1, half dozen other. Anyway, I just wanted to show you those 3 settings. You're setting, and you realize that you put your dang divot in the wrong place, or you drilled in the wrong place. It was this spot right here, off center. So this was my first drilling. So if I come in with my second, my second ball burr, I can start by drilling in here and pushing this way with the ball burr, and that moves that whole thing over so it's not as off as it was. You can do even more adjustments with the bud burr afterwards. Thank you so much for coming to my studio and helping me with these settings. I hope you've learned a lot. Don't forget to practice all the time. And while you're not forgetting things, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Visit nancylthamilton.com, stone setting from A to Z. Tons of free information for you. You can also sign up for my newsletter if you so desire, which comes out whenever. And also don't forget to visit my new store, nancylthamiltonshop.com. Easy to remember. Thanks again. See you next time. Ciao.